from the beginning of the school year to now, we have seen a huge shift in practice. And one of the major ways that we have improved practice is through co-planning and making sure that the instruction is teaching the standards the way that it should be.
So I think that planning piece allowed me to provide a quality lesson for my students and meaningful.
It is important for the school leader to talk to my teacher, to tell her what we need to be learning in the classroom so she can teach us what we need to know.
So today our objectives are going to be to co-plan basically for your instruction for next.
The agenda is based on trends that I may see in observation data. I look at the curriculum, I review the standards because I want to make sure that I understand the standard before I go into a planning meeting with a teacher and talk to them about what works, where areas where they can do different strategies. If I'm not familiar with that myself, then it's difficult to be able to do that, and they can tell.
So we know what the focus standard will be, and that's a pretty meaty standard, would you say?
Yes.
I noticed that it's the whole.
It is
one standard, the whole week.
Every planning meeting, we go to the ANET platform 2nd through 8th grade for ELA and math. We revisit the SAS. We look at what students should know. We look at like how they're going to know, how do we know they know that, and then what are they going to show us.
So the parts of the standard, what will they be doing on the parts?
Okay, so we'll be graphing proportional relationships and interpret the slope of the graph as the unit rate. And we also will compare two proportional relationships, which may be presented in different ways: equations, graphs, or verbal description.
Okay. I just want to look at coherence so that I will be clear and that we'll both be clear on what the prerequisite standards were, and want to maybe look at some of the data to see how the students performed on those prerequisite standards.
We discussed expectations of mastery. How many students do I expect to be able to master that standard? How am I going to guarantee that those students are going to master that standard?
And so if we look at the instructional approaches to the aspects of rigor, for what we're looking at conceptual. So we'll want to make sure that they're discussing and reflecting, and that really lends itself to that core action 3, having the students being able to discuss the tasks and why they're choosing various solutions to the equations, how those things relate to the real world problems that they're going to need to solve. So let's look at your lesson and see. Is this day 1?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
This is day 1, and what I do like about the transition from the Go Math to the Eureka Math, this allows that discussion time. It even gives them, prep them for, okay, you have 25 minutes to work in small group, and then we'll go back over it together. It even provides scaffolding for those kids who don't quite understand.
We take ownership and we hold ourselves accountable for student learning. We always look at how can I adjust my instruction, how can I adapt it. We never look at, the students were not doing this or they didn't do that. We never look at it in terms of student actions, except to say how they responded to what we did.
So once they have worked in groups to complete this, if you'll scroll down just a little bit more, one of the things that I think will be an opportunity for you to engage them will be allowing them to talk about with the class, or allowing a group to model how they solved the equations, what they're walking step by step. So them doing a think aloud. So I think you'll have to model that for them first.
Yes,
and then once you have modeled that think aloud process for them, it'll be much easier for them as a group.
If there are any things that they need to work on, if I need any deliverables before they come back, I make sure that we have next steps for our next meeting before they leave.
And a good thing that we meet prior to the week before I actually teach the lesson, so they give me that time to find those extra resources, the materials and that I will need to actually teach that lesson and make it effective. Then sometimes she even allowed me to do a mock lesson where I can get immediate feedback.
We actually went through a task together as if I were the student and she's the teacher, and she really demonstrated for me how she was going to instruct. That helps me a lot because when I come into the classroom, I'll go into her classroom on Wednesday. We already know that, and we know what she'll be teaching when I go in. I know what to expect, and it will help to also forward my own understanding. That's a way that I build capacity, by reviewing the lesson with them, planning the lesson, and then go in and we evaluate. How well did we do? Did we, reach our intended target?
And I think that in order for me to be a great teacher, that I need that planning time.
It makes me feel more confident that I know I'm going to come to school with a well, written out lesson plan.
I think it's important so that they can know what to teach us next and what other strategies we need to learn when we grow up in life.